I have just started book 10 and I feel like it is time. It is time for another update. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Debbie and I read a lot of books. At the moment I am reading quite a few series, which is why I now have sequel Sundays. Yes, I was wondering if it should be series Sundays to allow me to do other stuff on series Sundays. But yeah, so I am reading the Jessie Hunt series by Blake Pierce. And instead of doing one for every single book, I thought I'd do something like every 5 books or so. And I've just started book 10, but a lot of significant things have happened. So I thought that the start of book 10 is a good place to kind of go through things. So at this point, full spoiler alert, because I'm talking about stuff that I have not talked about because I was trying to keep some kind of level of secrecy for people who hadn't read the books before, but now all bets are off. I'm just going to go straight in there. So with Jessie Hunt, the secrets that I have been holding on to for the past 9 books, at the end of the first book we found out that Jessie's father is a prolific serial killer, which then leads into everything else. So she has been hunted by 2 different serial killers over the course of the past 9 books, but at this point 3 people who have been kind of watching her back have been killed off. And in the previous book, as in book 9, a major player was killed off, which I kind of wasn't expecting but also was, because I knew at some point somebody close to Jessie would have to go, just to kind of keep upping the stakes a bit. But it was when we started getting the point of view of this person, I was just thinking, oh no, they're going. That's the only reason why we'll be hearing from this person's point of view, is if they're about to be killed off. I like how the different books have different kind of formats to them, and through the last couple of books we've been getting the point of view of victims just before they die. So I think that's really interesting, because you don't often see that point of view in books, as people like being aware of their like final breaths and things, and I don't know why, I find it quite interesting to see that point of view and somebody going, alright, now I know I'm about to take my last breath. It's literally like that point of view in the book. Yeah, because at first I was thinking, if this carries on with the same format, it might get a bit boring, especially over 24 books I think this one is. And yeah, I am really just still enjoying it. I have no idea of how many pages things are. I need to, because I last talked to you when I think I was on like book 5. I think I was just about to start book 6. So book 6, A Perfect Look, was 188 pages. The Perfect Affair, which is book 7, was 184. Book 8 was 200. And then book 9, which I've just finished, was 204. So yeah, they're round about the 200 page mark. And I just find myself reading them so quickly, because I think it helps that I'm really enjoying the books, but also there's just so much packed in. It really does feel like I'm reading a TV series, and I think I've said that about like the Sophia Beaufont books, but with this, it feels almost like I am reading an episode of Rosalian Isles, the TV series that were based on the Tess Gerritsen books. And I've always said that when it came to the Tess Gerritsen books and then the Rosalian Isles TV series, for ages I could not bring myself to watch a TV series because I knew it was so different from how dark the books were. And with the TV series it leans more into the comedy detective side, whereas I found the books quite disturbing. Was that just me? It came to the point where I can actually now enjoy watching Rosalian Isles. Obviously it finished a few years ago now, but it was like, I think we had it on TV this morning. Was it this morning or was it yesterday morning? I think it was earlier today that I caught a glimpse of an episode and I was just like, oh, this was such a good series. But if you've read the books, you really have to kind of separate the two. Whereas with the Jessie Hunt series, I feel like it combines the like really dark stuff, especially when it comes to Jessie's background, with the comedy you get from a detective TV series, and which is why I think this would actually really lend itself to a TV series. I think it would be great, especially going down the route of stuff like Rosalian Isles and Castle and things, because you've got Jessie and you've got her partner Ryan Hernandez, who is now a love interest. They are together at this point in the book. It took a while. It took a few books for that love interest thing to kind of come out, but it seemed inevitable. Yeah, so after 9 books of black and white covers, book 10 is in colour. Can you see that? So you've got all these black and white ones, and then now we've gone into colour for book 10. But yeah, I thought this was a really good place to kind of have a bit of a catch-up because of who's been killed off and where I'm wondering where it's going to go. But at the same time, Jessie has pissed off quite a few people, and you get that in book 9 when you're trying to figure out who's trying to tear her life apart, because you realise that, well, basically, in the first book, you find out all about her husband, who by book 9 is her ex-husband, has been put in jail because he framed her for murdering his mistress. It's a big thing to do. But yeah, and then through the first, was it around about the book 6 mark, where Jessie's father was killed off? With Jessie's father, because you got that backstory in the first book of finding out who her father is, and that the fact that Jessie's father killed Jessie's mother in front of Jessie, and then finding out about her going into kind of witness protection and being adopted by some FBI people to help her, and Jessie going to therapy and acknowledging the darkness within her, and whether it's possible for her to kind of go down the same route as her father. And it's just like, but she's gone to the other side of it, whereas he liked the darkness and wanted to kill everybody. She's gravitated to the darkness because she wants to help people. Yeah. So we have found out that Jessie's father had another child with somebody else, and where we are, we've at a point where Jessie is now looking after her 16 and 17-year-old sister, and we're looking at that relationship between the sisters, and we're also looking at her sister's kind of psyche a little bit, of trying to work out whether she could become a serial killer herself. Not Jessie, the sister. Her sister is in therapy, but there are elements of slight psychopathy tendencies. Is that the right word to use? It's the case that it has been acknowledged within the text that Jessie's sister doesn't have a control on her emotions, and feels that maybe she doesn't really have them. Though the last book does lead into the fact that maybe it's a form of a coping mechanism rather than not actually being there. Does that make any sense? But yeah, so we've seen Jessie's father die, and then through that, Bolton Crutchfield, the man that she was interviewing in prison when she was going for like her masters and everything, he escaped with the help of somebody who, to be fair, Jessie didn't really like him, but he worked with Cat Gentry, who is Jessie's now best friend. Yeah, so there was that kind of double-crossing thing happening in order for Bolton to escape with some other people. And then Bolton was out on the loose, and then Bolton kidnapped Jessie's sister. I told you I was going into full spoiler territory in this book review. So Bolton kidnapped Jessie's sister and tried to turn her into a bit of a protege, and tried to see if he could get her to kill someone. Kind of the idea of like carrying on like the family thing. It was looking to see if Jessie was going to go down like the family business in regards to what her father did. And then Bolton thought, oh well, if Jessie won't do it, I'll try the sister. And then it went into Bolton being killed off. And then you were just like, wait, where's this going to go now? Because it feels like over the course of about 7-8 books, the people that she seemed to be hunted by had all gone. But then, in the last book, we found out that Jessie's ex-husband, the one who tried to kill her and kill somebody else, was being let out of prison on a technicality. And you see Jessie being hunted by Kyle. But then, he gets killed off. Going forward, there's still other people that she's pissed off who could come back, especially because in the storyline of Kyle going after her, he pissed off some people. A cartel, a drugs cartel. And so I'm wondering if maybe the cartel will now go after Jessie because of the association, or if maybe somebody else from the books that she's pissed off is going to come back, or if we're just going to have like something just brand new. I don't know. But yeah, this felt like a good a time as any to kind of give a catch up as to where I'm going with these books, because it just feels like a lot of important players that were the main antagonists have just gone. But then, as I said, kind of a major player kind of on the goody side has actually now been killed off, which I'm not going to say who that is. I might say that in the next catch up. But it is associated with Kyle trying to just make Jessie's life hell. Because over the past couple of books, you just see Jessie's life kind of falling apart a little bit. Like somebody hacks into all her social media and puts really horrible, racist, sexist, prejudicial comments that a lot of people believe, but then also the people closest to her know that it's not her and that she's been hacked, but there's not enough evidence as to like who did it. All they can do is put out a statement saying, our profile of social media has been hacked, this is not what she stands by, we know she's a good person, we know that she's been hacked, and we are doing our investigations into like who did it. Which you do later find out it's Kyle and his association with this drugs cartel, and yeah, it sounds so ridiculous. But all the best things are. But yeah, so I'm just fascinated as to where it's going to go next now that such major players have been taken out, and who Jessie's going to be up against going forward. Because at the end of the day, I feel like it has to come back to Jessie's family, and yeah, it's just, I'm just loving it. I love like proper murder mysteries, and the fact that this brings in that really, really dark side of Jessie in regards to her background and her fascination with it all because of what she went through as a child, and then the bonding that she has with her sister because her sister had a very, very similar thing happen to herself in regards to Bolton kidnapping her and, you know, watching her parents die, or her step-parents, and yeah, it's just, can you tell I am just loving these books. I love something that really just entertains me but also gets me to think quite a lot. Yeah, anyway, parents are picking up my godmother is coming over. We're having like a big birthday meal and stuff tonight. Originally I wasn't supposed to be going, but somebody else can't make it, so I'm going to be joining them for dinner, which is going to be lovely, at a restaurant I have not eaten at in a very, very long time. I'm getting ready for a showcase with my singing teacher, and me and another of her students are going to do some duets together, so I am learning harmonies. But yeah, so that's my catch up. And it's the Jessie Hunt series by Blake Pierce, and yeah, so far we've had the perfect wife, the perfect block, the perfect house, the perfect smile, the perfect life, and the perfect look. Those ones were covered in my last ones, and then since then I've also read The Perfect Affair, The Perfect Alibi, The Perfect Neighbour, and then I've just started The Perfect Disguise, which is book 10. But yeah, so I'm reading it on Kindle and I'm downloading it through Amazon. I'm sure you can find the books absolutely anywhere, but that's just where I'm currently reading it, and then I share the library with my dad so he can read them as well. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you are not already, and I will see you next time with another video. I'll see you on Wednesday. Mwah! Stay safe, everybody. Love you. Bye. Don't say that, Debs. That sounds really inappropriate.